Greetings of the day. Today we will discuss another new topic, that is introduction to R software. Let's take a highlighter or a pointer. Yeah. So today's agenda. So first we will discuss what is business analytics, right? After that we will take the next topic, that is about R software or R language. Then our last topic is why we should learn the R software or R language. So there are only three topics today we will discuss. Now, what is business analytics? So I think most of you have a pretty good idea of what is business analytics, right? So maybe your answer will be the analytics means to take better decisions, right? So definitely yes. If this is your answer, I totally agree with you. There is no problem. Now, if I ask you, how do you make a better decisions using your data, right? So to answer this question, we have to understand fact framework. So over here, F means frame the question. Okay. Then A means assemble the data. Then C means calculate the result. Then last one, tell others about the result. Okay, this is fact framework. Now, what is the frame the questions? So identify a problem that's need to be solved. Consider how you can frame the problem in a way that will encourage people to use data to find the root cause, and that will lead to some insight on which you can act. At some point, you shall also want to consider framing the question in a way that can be answered using a particular analysis. So, in a simple way, we have to understand or we have to identify what is the problem right now. Maybe in your organizations, maybe in your medical field, or maybe in our gaming purpose. If I take the example of IPL or any football, so you have to understand why our team is losing again and again, why our organization is not performing in a better way. So first you have to identify the problem. Okay, then we have to assemble the data. That means, so right now I believe you already know that data is basically one type of currency, right? So first we have to collect the data, then we have to cleaning the data. Here cleaning means basically if in your data set some noise, some uh, not available, any value is available, or some unwanted message, or that value which we have insert is not in a appropriate way. So we have to clean the data. Okay. So if I take the example of a financial data, so it is very very important because this data is directly impact to our profit. However, the other data is also involved, or we also consider the other data as well. So you may have even want to gather your own data. Once you identify the data, you shall need to find a specific way to extract, to transform, and to load the data. Finally, there is a fair amount of data wrangling that we shall need to take place so that the data is structured for calculation that will perform on it. So, in a simple way, you have to identify what are the data is very very important with respect to our problem statement. Then you have to cleaning our data if there are some data we have, or some unwanted message in our data sets, or the value is available in our data set, or the data is not properly grouped. So this part we have to done. Then we have to calculate the result based on our data which we have just cleaned from the data, or we can say from the cleaning data we have to calculate the statistic summary, or what is the distribution of the factors in our data set, how many value are available, how many values are missing in our data set. Each and every factors is definitely correlated with each other, so these correlations we have to calculate. So after so many analytics or calculations, definitely we will get some desired result which we are looking for. So let's suppose right now we have get the exact problem why our team is not performing, why we are losing so many games, what are the problem statements. So this type of problem statement we have solved right now, so definitely we get some output. Now you have to share this particular output or the result with your team member, with your colleagues, with your organization, so that they also help you to take the right decisions. Okay, so this is the normal four major point of our fact framework. That means frame the questions, assemble the data, calculate the result, and whatever the result you are achieved, so you have to share with your team so that they can also agree with your result, and they can understand what are the problem statement you are facing in your organizations, what are the area you have to careful. So this is the framework. Now we will discuss our second agenda, that is R software. At this point, I hope you have a good idea of how data can be used to improve business performance. I would like to start talking about software for analyzing the data. Specifically in this lesson, I shall give you some background about R software or R language. So take a laser point. So R is an open source interpreted programming language. So open source means you can easily understand we can install this software without purchasing a license. This is free. Now, what does it mean by interpreted programming language? So, normally there are two types of languages available. One is compiler and the other one is interpreter. The interpreter means basically it's translate a program line by line. If we have any error in the first line, the execution will stop there. We cannot go to the next line until we debug the error in the first line. So let's suppose if I wants to print the even number of series. So if there is any error in our first line, we cannot jump to the second line. This is simple way. What does it mean by interpreter? As it is execute line by line. So that means every line should be error free. Then only we will come to the last line of our programming. Okay. Then what does it mean by compiler? So compiler is basically calculate the entire program at a time. So compiler checks all type of errors, limits and ranges. So when you successfully type your program, then if you click on run option, so it will check each and every line in a one shot. So in a compiler, it cannot check one by one. It's completely check the whole program at a time. This is the main difference between interpreter as well as the compiler. Then what is the second point? Now it compiles and run on a wide variety of platform. Maybe it's a Windows, maybe it's a Linux, maybe it's a Mac. There is no limitation of the operating system, right? Then the third point is, so R programming is used as a leading tool for machine learning, data analysis, statistics. So there are so many use cases of our software. There is no limitations, right? Then the fourth point is, apart from analysis, basically the data analysis, we can also easily virtualize the data. So in the recent market, you can say there are different types of or applications or software is also available. But what are the main advantage of our software? So it can calculate the data analysis, or we can use the R software for data analysis as well as visualizes the data. So for that case, both the object can be achieved using the R software. But if you use any another applications which is also available, so you cannot complete the data analysis part as well as the visualizations of the data. So for that case, you need to different or to separate applications. Okay. Now come back to the third agenda, the third point of our agenda, that is why we should learn R software or the R language. So anyone who is planning to learn a programming language, you must heard that R and Python are the top programming language right now or for a beginner. So over the years, R has a massive use case, not in just for the data analysis and our IT community, but also it's a business domain. So recently, our software has a efficient record or use case for business purposes. So maximum or we can say major industry are using our software as well. R comes with a vast assortment of statistical and graphical methods, including linear regression, time series, statistical interference, linear and nonlinear modeling, classification, clustering, machine learning algorithm, and so on and so forth. So all that data analysis part will be covered if you use R software, right? Or if I take the business purposes, so R has top notch tools for visualization your data, report your data, or interactive with any another applications. So as we just mentioned earlier, R comes with an extensive library file of inbuilt packages and functions designed to cater to different needs. It has special packages for machine learning, statistical model, data analysis, data manipulations, data visualization. So for that case, there are different library file is also available. So we have to just install the library file, and if there is any problem happen in our library file, so definitely we have our community. So over here you have to just put your problem and they will help you. So there is no extra headache you have to take. So this part we have already explained the excellency of our visualizations. Then it finds applications in many industry. So R has gained increasing traction in this industry thanks to its versatility. an assortment of useful packages and functions. For instance, it is used in computational biology to conduct genomic analysis. It is used by finance companies to analyze fraudulent transactions and build economics models. So, in our coming sessions, we will also learn using our software how we can identify this type of credit or debit card transaction can be identified as a fraudulent transaction. Okay.